Today's 802nd day. I'm here to lessons to learn. I'm learning. I hope this will support your dreams, your goals, allow you to become the person that you want to become. Today's question is, why is it so hard to change careers? Why is it so hard to change careers? Now, of course, some people love their careers, they don't want to change, and this lesson is not for you. This is not for them. This lesson is for people who have been in position for quite some time, or maybe just recently, but they are working in one job, but their mind, their soul, their spirit is in some different career. And a lot of times we stay much, much longer in a position because we have some considerations, some issues, some things that we overcome. I've been in that position. I've been in a company for 3 years, and I needed to leave after a year and a half. It was amazing company. It was amazing experience, but it doesn't matter if it's an amazing experience. What matters is this aligning who you want to be and where you want to go? Because it's not aligning with why you're staying there. There's a lot of things that we need to consider to really choose career path. And I think that a lot of times people stay too long, and it's not 1 year and a half. People stay for 5 years, even decade, even more than one career, because they do not really think it through. What will happen if you do not change? So today I will share 7 things, 7 aspects of really why it's so hard to change careers. So number 1 is skills and experience gap. Skills and experience gap. And this is one of the things that is legit consideration. Legit. That means that when you are pursuing one career path, it might be that you've been in that career for 5 years. So you build quite significant skill set. You are professional in that career. And now when you're thinking about changing career, you're potentially moving something that you are totally beginner. You're not able to move from professional to professional in different career paths. So that means that you will need to move to beginner. And you will need to suck. And a lot of times that being stuck position scares people. And that's people stay being in a professional place, even though that they do not like their career. And I think that this is, of course, this is external thing that you need to be okay, because you need to be okay to really suck for a bit. Now, what you're able to do, you're able to say that if I have a gap of skill, gap of knowledge, gap of wisdom and education, what I'm able to do, that means that I'm able to, from 9 to 5, work my job, from 5 to midnight, educate, build the skills that necessary to really be able to leave. So it means if you really want to, you will find a way. So that the finding the way for this consideration is building the skill set. Sucking at the beginning, sucking not in a career while you just still working your job, being able to really at the side time to find a time to really build. If you don't have much time, it means how much time do you have? How much time you're able to take away from things that really do not matter, from minor things, and start focusing on major things. Because one of the things that people say, I'm very, very, very busy. That's a lot of times is that I allocate my time to minor things. And what is those minor things in your life? It could be that it's not minor, but they're not majored as well. It's just important, but it's not major things that you. So maybe you're able to take good things of your life that you could include great things. Sometimes that's probably one of the biggest things that people don't find time is that they allow good things into their life. Because if you want it great, you will need to take those good things out to great things to come in. And that means that you will need to educate yourself. So that means that you're able to build a skill set, build that knowledge. So you jump in not from professional to beginner and stuck person, but you move from professional to some kind of beginner or intermediate, maybe advanced. It depends where your skills level of comfortable level is. Number 2 is financial considerations. Financial considerations, that's a still legit consideration. So that means that again, we're moving professional to beginner. So that means that transition could require you move from pretty decent salary to pretty low salary. That means that financial consideration is still legit. So that means that, again, if you educate yourself and improve yourself, build a skill set, so that means because you move not from professional to beginner, you move from professional to beginner and to intermediate or advanced, that allows you to really make sure that you're able to really make a little bit more money than just stole it from scratch. But the most important part, we need to understand that when we're working for finances, we need to build bigger financial cushion. So it means we're able to ask ourselves, okay, how much money do I make? How much money comes out? So it means if I want to change careers, maybe I'll be able to downgrade my living conditions, live in a much lower salary, save up quite a lot to have that emergency fund, have the savings, have the cushion. So that means when I jump, I'm not afraid. I'm not thinking about the money all the time. Because it's very, very hard to really pursue skill sets when you're living in a survival mode. But you always constantly think about where the next paycheck will come from, how I'll pay, how I'll put my food on my table. It's hard. It's hard. So that means that when you know that you want to change career, preparing for that in advance and giving yourself like 6 months of building a cushion. Now, 6 months seems quite a lot, but this is very, very important to understand that if you are like 30, 40, and you still have 40 years potentially of doing that career path, 30 years still. So that means it's better to allocate 6 months to build a financial cushion that you could jump, that you could live 30, 40 years in a different career path. Of course, it's essential. And I understand why sometimes people have a tendency to really overlook how long they will work in the new career, comparing to how much they need to invest into it. So a person needs to invest 1, 2 years in really working a little bit harder, and then they have 30 years living that better lifestyle. Number three is that we need to consider is professional identity. And it's very interesting. And I feel that a lot of times people follow that as well. And what is that professional identity? That means you're working one career for 5, 10 years. You start to attach that career, what you do, as who you are. You attach what you do, who you are. And that's terrible. For example, you're working as an accountant for 10 years. Now you start to believe that this is your identity. This is who you are. No, career is not who you are. Who you are is your character, your values, your morals. Those are who you are. And what you do is not who you are. Because if you change careers, that means you lost who you are. No, that's not what it is. So that means you change careers, you can change as much as you want. That's why your identity, you will not be able to change. You are not able to take away your identity. And if you say that someone's, if you believe that you're accountant, this is your career, and someone took your career out, that means that you take away your identity. No, like that means we need to be careful attaching different identities. And if you feel that this is who you are in your career, that means you need to be able to switch. We need to switch that. We need to really understand that our character, our identity is based on character, values, and morals, not on career and not on what we do. Number 4 is a risk uncertainty. This is an internal thing. Risk and uncertainty. You need to deal with your insecurities, your risks, because sometimes people are afraid that they will be able to jump from one bad thing, from the wolf to a lion, something that is more difficult. But one thing is that people believe that a lot of times is terrible what they know is better than unknown. Terrible that they know is better than unknown. That is very terrible, because when you take risks, when you're uncertain, you potentially could jump in something even worse. It could happen. It could happen. That's part of the risk. But now, if you jump, you understand it's worse, so you jump something else, jump something more meaningful. That's why it's very, very important to understand that there is being able to adjust, being able to pivot, being able to move fast, and is very, very important. Because at the end of the day, if you stay long in the career that you potentially don't like, or maybe even hate, in 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, you will start to regret you not moving. I have seen people who said, oh, I did 5 years. And that years that they have not changed, they allow making an excuse, oh, I didn't change for 5 years. How I could change now? That's supposed to be like a reason to change, not excuse. Number 5 is limited opportunities. Limited opportunities, that is legit consideration. So it means when you pursue some kind of career path in music and arts and then or any kind of career, it could be that it's not that easy to find a position. It's not easy to get that new career. It might be that you will require to work a year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, maybe even 10 years on yourself, on your knowledge, on the skill set, to get something into top 1% in the in that career, that you're able to get position, that you're able to get opportunity. And I'm willing to really do that. Now, only a few people will say, yeah, I'm willing to do that. I know that this career is for me. This is what I want to do. And I am willing to do that. Because limited opportunity is probably one of the most difficult to overcome, because you will need to work hard. You will need to make sure that you're able to find. But now, limited opportunities is limited. But that means that the limit is for people who are dedicated for their career. So that means you will need to make a dedication. You make a decision, and you will be able to find it. I truly believe in him. When you have a huge belief and dedication and willingness to sacrifice a few things, you will always find a position, and you will get those limited, and those limited will be limited for you. Number 6 is network and connections. Network and connection. This is very, very powerful. One of the best way to find a new career is through network. Now, it could be that you do not have any network, any connection whatsoever. It might be that for the last 5 years, you live by yourself. You read books, you went to work with a small team, you did your job, you came back home, you went to exercise in a gym, you watched Netflix, you did something by yourself, and that's it. And last 5 years looked like this. Day by day. Like, you come back, you're by yourself, and it'll look into the last 5 years that you didn't build any network, you didn't build any connections. But that's okay. That's where you start. That's where you know where you are. And now you're able to change it. You're able to improve it. Because how you live, the way how you live, the habits you build is not who you are as well. This is just what you do. So if you want to build network, you're able to do that. So that means what kind of habits you're able to build on a daily basis to build network, to build connections. Because it's very, very important to build network, because those networks and connections allows you to really switch careers much, much, much more smooth. And the last one, number 7, that they have into considerations is age and responsibilities. Age and responsibilities. Now, age, of course, if you want to be NBA player and you're already 55, maybe NBA is not for you. That train out of the window. But if you want to pursue any other career, ages doesn't matter. It could be 18, it could be like 70, it doesn't matter. Like, you're able to pursue them. A lot of times people say like, oh, I'm too old, I'm too young. Those ideas needs to go out of the window, because you will always find people in your career that you want to pursue, people who are at your age. Always find. Now, the other part of responsibilities, that is very, very legit consideration. Very legit. That means that it could be that there's people who depend on you, of the income that you're providing. Kids, spouse, and parents, everything in between. That could be that they depend on you, depend on that finances, depend on that you're providing for them. And those responsibilities, maybe that you give your time. And there's legit considerations. That means that for some time, it could be that it will be even harder. So that means that let's say that you're working 12 hours a day to provide the finances, to provide the time that you need. That means that if you don't want to jump off that career, you will need to do something. But you're not able to jump to something else right away because people depend on your finances. So that means that you will need to work 6 months, maybe a year, even harder, taking extra 4 hours shifts to work and working 16 hours of day rather than 12. And I know this might sound difficult. And it is. Life is difficult. But it means that you will need to do those 4 hours, save up for 6 months, maybe a year, when you have that savings, you have that cushion, you have that safety net. Now, when you jump, you know that you will be able to take care of it. You will be able to take care of your family, of your kids, of your parents, or whatever you are depending, who is depending on you. You'll be able to take care for 3 months, and you know that the next 3 months, because you work hard, because you have a reason, you will make things happen. And as a worst case scenario, you're always able to go back where you came from. But that's not what we seek. We seek something more meaningful. We pursue a different career, because a lot of times you're staying in the one career path that is decent salary, and we're living good. But that decent salary will stay with us forever. It will stay. But then when you pursue other career, you start small, and of course that's the gap of finances will need to be covered somehow, and that's a safety net and cushion will help to cover. And when you pursue that career that has very low beginning, a lot of times they'll have a massive upside. So when you pursue a year or two, you're able to move from decent salary to massive upside. And of course, all the people that depend on you, now because you took a risk, and pursue something meaningful, they will get abundance as well. And this is the most powerful feelings. That means that if you are afraid to take a risk because of your dependence, that means that You don't take a risk. They do not have the lifestyle that they could because you are afraid. You need to deal with those internal demons. Everyone needs to deal with internal demons. And when you're able to really to overcome those demons and pursue something more meaningful and pursue that abundance, your children, your parents, your dependents will have the abundance as well. And such a powerful thing because a lot of times people lack motivation for themselves. But when you understand it, every single action that you take will influence people. That is such a powerful thing because you understand that what you do today will influence not just you, but the people around you for generations to come. So when I think about it, when I think that the decision that I make will influence somebody, that always allows me to make the best decision. And sometimes the best decision is the hardest one. But that's not looking what is easier decision, what is hard decision. We're looking not looking what is easy step, what is hard step. What we're looking is what could allow us to make the best decision for our future, for our career. So when I think about the steps what we're able to take is really pretty straightforward. Research and planning. Then we need to network. Then we need to upskill our levels and knowledge. Then really make sure that we're able to take incremental steps towards it and really able to seek support, seek for feedback, seek for people who are pursuing the career that you want. And after that, of course, it becomes quite straightforward because from 9 to 5, you work your job, make a living, and from 5 to midnight, you make your life. So I hope you reflect, and maybe if you are in a position that you want to change careers, that you will not stay longer and really start pursuing something more meaningful, that you could jump to new career. It will not be easy, but it will be worth it. So I hope you just win and see you tomorrow.